Hi, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Oh Hey It's Me. Oh hey, can you see? Wrong show, y'all. I'm probably gonna keep this. Good morning. Alright, good morning, afternoon, whenever you are listening. Welcome. Ooh, 10:13, that's a good sign. It's my angel number. Already starting off, y'all. Welcome. So last episode we got very galactic and we got out of this world, and this episode we're gonna bring it back down to Earth, bring it back down into the body. Definitely do some grounded conversation today, but I would really love to bring it back to some trans talks, especially because very soon we will be. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm on call. Also, still figuring this out, but today I did find a microphone that I bought way back when. Because I've been, had a couple of podcasts from the intro. You're probably like, oh, what was that? What is she laughing about? So I did have a separate, it was a Facebook Live show. I was on like a whole other app at one point trying to do a live show. And it was called I'm still saying, oh, hey, can you see? Which is this show. It was, oh, hey, it's me, Haley. And then I had a show that was, oh, fake, can you see? So it's been a whole transition in itself. Here we are. And I'm very honored and happy to be here. So welcome. And good morning, again, afternoon, whatever. So today I thought we would come in because recently I've noticed in both society and the collective and across social media that a lot of people have been encountering some inner child healing. I will be having a guest on the show soon. And the thing with coming on as a guest, I've never mentioned this before, but when you come on as a guest, you have the option to either be anonymous or to come up with your own name or nickname, or use your real name. It's totally up to you. And that's for people's privacy. That's for them to be able to feel a sense of being able to say and be a little more transparent, a little more open and vulnerable, without feeling judged. And also, I think it's good for people to see the response from the public and from the listeners. Mostly the positive. You're still going to get people who are haters, but that's because, they drink the haterade. They're totally fine with how things were before, which was, you are born, you grow up, you get a job, you work it, you hopefully retire, which most of us don't, and then you pass away. And to me, and for a lot of people, way before the mass awakening happened, they, they very much were fine with it. I mean, they were just, totally fine with it. But a lot of us beforehand even were not fine with it. And it took the awakening for us to really let go of a lot of these societal issues and or trauma and or habits that are passed down. And like systematic racism. It's like you're really not born racist. It's really endowed upon you. It's really like put upon you. It's like infused into you and taught to you. And then at some point you just develop this sense of it being a value and it being who you just are, quote unquote. Which is not a phrase that for me, that is a red flag. Whole red flags thing has been coming up lately. People have definitely been realizing that what they were doing was not working and now they're done. And they're ready to formulate a new plan, or a lot of us have been formulated and planned already for a while, and now we have moved into, enacting the plan, moving on with the mission. A lot of people say we were asleep. I say we were all on vacation. We're all on vacation, and then we came back home, and now it's time to get back to work. In the energetic sense, and not the pay your rent, pay your utilities, pay to be able to live and survive, pay for your family, pay insurance for things that could possibly happen, but if they happen, you may not still get insured. I'm just gonna keep throwing them out here. These are a lot of things we were taught as children. There are a lot of old values and outdated thoughts and behavior patterns that are not serving us and are no longer helping us reach our full potential, and if anything, are holding us back. And it has just been sorry, trying to do two things at once. Stop doing that thing. It has truly been 555. When I laughed and took that pause to get back on track. It has truly been very eye-opening for me in the last few days, months, weeks, but to witness other people going through this inner child healing. But it's very cool to see that we do have technology helping assist us to not just have to visualize, a healing, but to actually have the ability to have a filter, right? I'll get to my point in a minute. All right, I don't do edits. If I do gotta pause, it's just because I need to answer. It's a very, very Q word today. If I don't say the Q word, it usually causes the opposite to happen. So but did pick up for a second there. So yeah, it's inner child healing. We have the ability with TikTok, for instance, right? I'll just get to my point. TikTok, we have these filters, right? And they're always trending. There's always videos being made. I mean, it just is a way for people also to connect, because when so many people are trending on the same thing, everybody's seeing it. They're all connecting with each other. And, I think it's very cool that happens. A lot of people think it's just burnout. They're like, this is all I see now. It's okay, well then interact with some of it maybe. And maybe or put not interested. There's a little button. It says not interested. Hit it. It'll do you wonders. Not everything coming through is spirit. Some of it is definitely part of the algorithm. I know that for sure. I get a lot of spirit messages though through TikTok, and I send them out to people all the time. I have a collective of people that I just feel very called to deliver messages, like the post office. Oh, I see you received a postcard from Spirit. Let me send that through. So with TikTok, it's there's a filter where you could see your younger self, right? And a lot of people saw it. A lot of people had mixed emotions. Some people felt it was weird. They just didn't like it. Some people felt like they just looked really young. Some people, like myself, felt like they got a chance to actually see. And if you do edit it, like a lot of people did, you could actually talk to your inner self, or throw music on their lip sync, whatever. So yeah, I felt like it was a way for us to have that meeting with our inner child or inner teen, and that point where we had gone through so many different experiences that didn't make sense. A lot of them probably will never make sense, and why kids have to go through some of the things that we've had to go through. And be raised in certain families and certain family dynamics, and just having to go through this whole trauma bond experience. Like, it's just very much tears you apart and rips you down, pushes you down, holds you down to the point, where like some of us, like myself, we felt like, you had to be as tiny as you could be. There was no like the other day I had something come to me, and occasionally I really should post more on Facebook even. But occasionally I get these like phrases, sentences, mantras, maybe even, or just moments of clarity where I realize things. And when it comes to like people having children, I have noticed some parents see their kids as like their whole world, their whole reason for living, their purpose, their passion, their support. Like, they are really there for their kids, even if they have to have tough love sometimes, even if they have to have, discipline. And y'all, it's taken me a long time to even be able to say the word discipline and not totally want to yak, because it gives me the ick for so long, because it was used as a manipulative tool and a narcissistic tool to make me think that what was being done to me as a child was my fault, and that I deserved it, and that this was the best way for it to be handled, and it was not. If there's anybody out there who has heard or will ever hear my entire story, what I went through in my home and in the family that I was born into, then you would know 100% that like that was abuse. And for me to not be allowed to feel valued, to constantly be told that I didn't matter, to constantly be criticized and never like nurtured or valued or any of that nurtured. Like, I was never nurtured. I did not have any nurture. I had 3 parents. I had my mom and dad who got divorced when I was 8, but separated several times before then. A very chaotic marriage, very chaotic divorce, very chaotic post-divorce, all the way up until she passed away last year. And then I had my stepmom. And my dad and my stepmom were married for 23 years before she passed in November 2019. And even though I was not nurtured, even though I was not given a safe space in a real sense, even though I was made to feel like I was taking up too much space, the whole point is like, some parents love their kids in a way that they feel like they're their whole world. And some parents, like mine, treated us like we were just another expense. They treated us like we were just another hospital bill. They just had to pay for us in a sense. And then when you get to the point where like these children out here being trafficked, I bring it up, trigger, but we know about it. It's very real. It's not something you could just scroll past anymore. And as a child who was trafficked, still didn't move homes, didn't do whatever, but was like sexually trafficked and used, and still then weaponized, used as a weapon against the rest of the family after we were moved away and taken away, me and my brothers. So believe me when I say that, like, as a trans person, when you mention the word and or call me a groomer, I was groomed. So you have no idea. You have no idea what somebody's been through. And to just casually use terms like groomer and not even know that they were groomed and that you're triggering them. And so they get triggered, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, see, look, trans people are crazy. See, told you. Can't be trusted. They're gonna hurt our kids. I've already had some of the kids in my family weaponized against me, said they weren't gonna have their kids around me because they were gonna let them around a crazy person who thinks that dressing up in women's clothes makes me anything other than what I was born and who I was born. And I'll never be Haley. Yeah. So I still carry on. I still continue to fight. I still choose to be in the society and community of women, even with toxic femininity, even with biological women throwing in my face that I don't have the reproductive organs to have children, which makes me not a woman. When if they had any idea about what hormone replacement therapy is and what it does, and the fact that there's a full disclosure, people just think that like you walk into a doctor's office, you say I want to be a woman, and then they give you a shot, and then you go home and you start doing it to yourself. No, you get a full session where they give you the full disclosure of everything that your body's going to do, everything that could happen to you, the complications, the symptoms, the irreversible medical transition of hormone replacement therapy when you're doing not puberty blockers, totally different. Those are reversible. But when you're injecting hormones, then it's irreversible. And the first thing they tell us, the very first thing they tell us is, you will not be able to have children. This will make you sterile. If you would like to have children in the future, we suggest you go do this to this place and then come back and have this done, and have this meeting again, and we can get you started on hormones then. And I said, I am 38 years old. I am not from a family that I feel safe enough to bring children into. And I don't feel safe with the world that has been created and bringing children into. So I just imagine I'm probably just going to be a really cool aunt, and I would like to start hormone therapy. They said, okay. So when you already throw in our face that we can't have children, we're already very aware of that. We signed up for that. So you didn't just sting us once, you stung us twice, and 3 strikes you're out. That's a softball reference, y'all. It's my softball leagues. Women. So you're done. Like, I all you gotta say is one more wrong thing in that conversation and we're done. That's how easy it is. Because you're not gonna invalidate my existence. I spent way too many years wasting my time trying to get my existence validated, and my experiences validated, and my feelings validated. I'm not going back because you have the brave notion to pop your head up on this 1-minute TikTok and tell me all about it. And be a gatekeeper for women. Yeah, it has been just another dragon, y'all. I thought it was like, man, recently learned to set healthy boundaries, did this, did that, got my head out of my own ass. Now it's gonna have to be an explicit episode, whatever. Well, it already is. So yeah, and now it's just like very balanced, calm, have a career, have the same relationship that I've been in that's now transitioned, been reborn like the phoenix into this whole other level of love because I transitioned, because I'm allowed to just come out and be myself because I felt safe enough. Like, I know it's hard for people to grasp the concept of safety, and safety starts within, but I can't control the outside of me, right? And I didn't feel safe enough to come out as trans for the first 9 years of my relationship, of my 11-year relationship now. And we had been married for 3 years by the time that I came out as trans, and still really had no idea at all that I was, because I was so ignorant to what it was. It only took one of my friends that I met through Chris and asking me if I was trans, because I was so upset about this anti-trans that was happening and just distraught and just very triggered. And they just asked me, and I was like, no, I'm just very passionate about people's rights and people who go through identity crisis. I've gone through several identity crises, and still come out on the other side without having developed a split personality or not having developed schizophrenia or anything more serious. Because in my journey, it has just been really hard to accept that for a long time I was so ignorant to who I am. And when you don't do any internal work within, you don't do any shadow work, you don't start embracing the darker parts of yourself that aren't serving your highest good, you're still mirroring back relationships in your life of people that are chaos, that are unhappy, that are low vibrational. And that's not a judgment. We're all at a state of low vibration at times. The body is not, once you hit like level 2, you never go back to level 1. Like, no, some days I'm at level 1, some days I'm at level 10. It's just a very difficult process to find that balance and to trust yourself and to speak up for yourself. And because of all of the experiences that I had growing up, I had a lot of issues in my chakra system. Like, I felt sometimes, I used to feel these like pains in my heart. It wasn't in my like lungs. It was like, felt like it was in my heart. And for a little while, for a few years, I got worried that maybe I had a heart murmur or something. But nothing ever came from it. But it really was a spiritual wound. It was an energetic wound that I'd gotten from growing up in my home. And every time that I would try to speak up for myself and I was being abused or being in a situation with my dad, he would take his finger and he would point and make contact and point his finger into my chest, right where my heart is, and just use it as like a mechanism to bully me and to frighten me and to scare me so that he could feel more dominated, right? And after years of doing that, I really felt, I'm gonna get emotional because I really felt like he had punctured my heart, maybe even physically or something, because as a child and even into my like 13, 14 years, I was very thin and skinny and thin framed, and like I didn't even get over 100 pounds until freshman year of high school, maybe sophomore year of high school, and so like I was a little kid, like I could physically and was picked up and physically thrown, like when I tried to go into a fetal position. Like, this is a lot very triggering for people I know. But this is part of the inner child healing, like truly, like try to stick it out, If you're triggered, maybe think like there's something in me that felt this way or feels so heartbroken for someone to have to go through this. Because like, I don't want anybody to feel like it takes up until they're 38 years old to discover who they are and to start to love themselves. And I am very lucky that in the only couple of years that I've been transitioning from social transition into my medical, that I've had the opportunity to have a very good support system, and that the people that don't have in my life that are missing this transition, that think that watching it on Facebook is good enough, are the same people that ignored me before and that only came around when they felt like there was chaos or there was something that they could take or there was some way I could help them or listen to them or do any of these things and like give to them, even though I had nothing. truly nothing. So I know it's hard out there for people in this inner child healing, because it's like that's the root. That's the only thing further back to the inner child healing is ancestral healing, which I have done. I'm pretty sure closing the book on at least making it public, even if nobody in my family speaks to me again, because they refuse to acknowledge, believe what I'm saying is true. I don't care. I'm not keeping my mouth shut, because this is how I close the book. This is my ancestral healing. This is what has been passed down from the generations, and from all of the victims, and from all of the people who were groomed and taught to act this way, and the money involved, and all the businesses involved, and all this stuff, just so that they could have more money, a bigger house, greedy, and feel a sense of control and feel a sense of power when people are getting hurt and their lives are being ruined, and the generations after. So as far as I'm concerned, any of these children that are weapons against me, I saved them from having to go through something. Nobody's gonna dare try to make a move now. And if they want to say they didn't before, cool. Now you definitely won't. Now you definitely won't. And I made sure of it. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I do care. I do care. I'm trying to say stop saying I don't care, because I do care. I do care that people don't want to have a relationship with me because I was brave enough to come out and say something, and spend 10 years. It wasn't a like overnight thing, hallucinations, anything made up. I spent 10 years talking to who I could, when I could, having conversations when I could, and every single time it led me right back to the same thing. There were a whole lot more things out there, but I needed peace. My inner child needed peace and a healing from that situation and that whole experience, and to know that in the future none of the kids in my family are going to have to deal with it. At least so many generations after. And I fully believe that if anybody else out there feels like they need to recant, they need to say, go back, or wish that they had never said anything, don't. I know you're in a process where like it just feels like that, but eventually keep growing, keep dealing with it, keep working on it, keep talking about it with the people you can talk to about it, because they very much want to support you, and the people that don't are benefiting and or have benefited and or just do not care and do not love you. So that's my piece on that. I didn't mean for this to be my inner child healing, but then again, I do go first, so it's like I'm not surprised that it's coming out this way. I want everybody, like right now, the What I Was Made For song from the Barbie movie, the whole fuss and everything going on there. I mean, I think it's really hypocritical that all of these cis men are so up in arms about Ken having such a small identity and being boxed into this like thing, when that's what women have been put into for thousands of years. They're really dropping the ball here, y'all. The whole like projection, deflection thing, like it's really coming out so strong now. Like, you know, I really see our whole shift in awareness and consciousness going from just accepting what everybody says, as far as politicians and some of our religious leaders and some of these, you know, people out there, businesses that are knowingly, publicly hurting people, and you know, all of them. So it's definitely going to be something that continues once a lot of us have finished this inner child healing. What I Was Made For has been a song that I really resonated with. I know, again, everybody's like, I'm over it, burnout, but for myself, it definitely helped me see that, like, what I went through. There are quite a few Billie Eilish songs, actually. What I Was Made For, Happier Than Ever, Lovely. These are all songs that I've actually found myself moving through the ancestral healing and moving through, working through the inner child healing that have really helped me. Because music really can help you. You can get lost in it. For me, it's become a medication in a sense, and it's helped me replace like my anti-anxiety meds. And I just put on music. There's so many different Spotify. I like Spotify. They have this DJ that like DJs for you, and as a DJ, I love that. Sometimes we need a DJ too. Personal DJ. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm hoping people will see technology has the ability to, help us, and everything that we need is like right at our fingertips, right? It's like recently I've definitely noticed that some low vibrational, some chaos, some very intense situations have come up, but there's always been like a life preserver. There's always been like, a line thrown out from spirit that's like, here you go, you can have this. It's like, finding like those extra things that you need in the video games so you can like complete the mission, and it gets really exhausting, but then I just kind of wake up every day kind of more refreshed and like, okay, you got this, and so finding some balance is really important. Deal with your inner child stuff coming up. There's a massive purge going on right now, massive on all levels, on Earth, in the universe. It's a whole shift. My last episode had a lot of stuff going on, but so do I. Have a multi-dimensional being. A lot to impart, and I know a lot of y'all got to say too, and whoever this drives away as far as future guests and things like that, then I wish you well on your journey, and this is not the platform for you. But here we have no judgment. We're open. As long as it's not hurting someone, as long as we're not encouraging violence or anything, any kind of abuse in any sort of way, then we're good to have a discussion about it. Because we need to start seeing the different perspectives, and we really need to start understanding that, like, we all are the main character in our story, and sometimes we're very much blinded by our own stuff, but we have, like, support of people out here that are on the same frequency, the same like-minded goals, and sometimes we're a little further ahead in the journey, and so we're able to help guide and assist. So y'all have an amazing week. Prepare just for like this next end of summer. It's been very hot and everywhere, and also this Lionsgate portal is popping, so prepare, but look that up. All right, love y'all, bye. I'm done.